So I will call the meeting to order at 6:04 Rose. We do a roll call. Welcome to the City of Angels meeting for July 19th, 2022. Could we do a roll call, please, Rose?
Mayor Brolio.
Present.
Vice Mayor Herndon.
Present.
Councilmember Tiscornia.
Present.
Councilmember Moncada.
Present.
Councilmember Sherrado.
Present.
Staff is present.
Next we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'm going to look on Nathan, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next we'll put out a closed session. Items A and B, direction was given to staff. Next is item number 4. Look for a motion to approve the agenda as posted or amended. And there's agendas if anybody in the Joel, if you'd like an agenda, they're up here for you. Okay. So look for a motion to
I will make
approve.
the motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, first.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Who's second? Sorry.
Isabel.
Okay.
All opposed, same sign. Here, Gretel.
Gretel.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
5-0.
Yep.
Next up, item number 5 is public comment. The public may address the council on any item of public interest not otherwise on the agenda that is within the jurisdiction of the city. No actions may be taken. Matters to be addressed may be referred to city staff or placed on subsequent meeting agenda. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes per person. Is there anybody that would like to give public comment? Is anybody online?
Anybody online? No.
Okay. Close public comment, and I'll move on to item number 6, consent agenda. Is there anybody of the staff, public, or on the council that would like to pull an item?
I'd like to pull A and B.
I would also like to pull A. Anybody else on any other items? If not, I would look for a motion to approve C, D, E, and F.
I'll make the motion.
I have a second.
All in favor, say aye for C, D, E, and F.
Aye. Gretel.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
We'll go with item A first. You pull it first?
Yeah, I wasn't there.
Okay, and neither was I. And item B, I'm assuming, is the same?
Can we do them separate then?
Yep,
So item
exactly. So item A, neither me or Karen were out there, so we would like to
A. We need a motion.
abstain from those, so I would look for one of the 3
I'll move
to make a motion.
I'll make the motion that we approve the draft minutes from June 21st.
And I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Gretel.
Aye. Oh, sorry, aye.
Okay, so 3, 0,
2.
2
Okay.
on that one.
And then
Consent item B,
on the draft minutes for July 5th, I will make the motion to approve those.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
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 So 4. Okay. Here's consent agenda. And that takes care of that. Okay, we move on to item number 7A, regular agenda, public hearing, ordinance number 527, the second reading, hold a public hearing, adding the City of Angels Municipal Code, section 9.01, incorporating police acquisition and use of military equipment in accordance with state law. Mr. Chief Ellis, you're up again.
As you mentioned again, Assembly Bill 41 requires cities to adopt a military use, equipment use ordinance, along with the police, which includes a policy from the police department. Attached in your packet is a copy of the ordinance, along with, should be attached a copy of the ordinance along with the policy that the police department will adopt once hopefully approved. That's pretty much the gist of it. It's basically items that state lawmakers deemed as military use equipment for our purposes. Most of that is just less lethal projectiles. We don't have any heavy equipment or anything like that that meets the criteria at this point. If in the future we decide that we'd like to get, say, a drone, drones are part of what would be considered military use equipment. At that point, I'd come back to council and request approval for drones to be added to this program so that we could have them. It also doesn't preclude us from requesting, if adopted, it won't preclude us from requesting supplies and equipment from other agencies under emergency circumstances if needed. That will just have to eventually come to council for notification and approval when time allows. Any questions?
Any questions from staff and council? Okay. At this moment, I will open the public hearing. Is there any member of the public that would like to speak for or against this?
Any members online? No.
Okay. Close the public hearing. And I would, actually, this is the one. So I would look to approve ordinance 527.
Incorporating the.
Incorporating the use of military equipment in accordance with state law. Yes. About first.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed, same sign?
Aye.
Aye.
They have
They
do? Yes.
Okay, item B, sale of a portion of city property, APN 58-015-011, the Mariposa Amateur Calaveras Tuolumne Mapped Health Board, Amy Augustine, City Planner.
Mr. Mayor, council members, this is for a sale of the parking lot over by the police station to Mapped for parking. They have reviewed the contract, they are in agreement, they would like to have a 30-day rather than a 90-day escrow, but they're happy to go with the 90, and if we can make it shorter, great. We have a couple actions we'll be bringing to you in August, the boundary line adjustment, which we're gonna accomplish by deed, and a rezone and general plan amendment to take off the public designation and make it community commercial so that it matches the rest of their property. Otherwise, everybody is in agreement. We did add one provision to the resolution in your packet, that was the handout, so that it was clear that this is an exempt surplus piece of property. It is not subject to having to go out and ask everybody in the world if they wish to purchase it. We do have an exemption. And I'd be happy to answer any other questions if you have them.
Councilor staff, any questions?
What's the purpose of the boundary line adjustment?
It is, we're not selling the entire parcel to them, we're selling a portion.
Okay.
So we're keeping part, they're taking part.
Any other questions? I'll open it up to public. Open up to public comment. Is there any public comment on this item?
Anybody online for public comment on this item? No.
So bring it back to council. Is there any problem with doing a 30-day escrow? Is there any reason why we can't or shouldn't?
They're okay with it being 90. You can shorten it, you just can't make it, well, and you can even make it longer. So what is in there really is not all that relevant because you can always change it. So they're in agreement going with the 90 and having us try to make it as short as possible. And since we have to come back to you August 16th, we didn't want to squeeze it quite that tight.
Okay. And they're fine with it.
They said they're fine with it.
Let's scratch that. And that's just informational only?
No,
No.
a resolution.
Oh, I need the resolution, that's right, okay. So I need approval of resolution 2238. Sorry, I had that broken.
As amended.
As amended.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. Item number C, abatement approval of one parcel APN 058-064-055, lot number 288, Greenhorn Creek subdivision, Angels Camp, California, 95222, in violation of Chapter 8.10, City of Angels Camp Municipal Code, abatement of weeds and rubbish. Nate Pry, Fire Marshal, Deputy Chief.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. So in front of you is, we're looking for approval to abate one parcel. It's lot number 288, Greenhorn Creek subdivision. As following the ordinance, we sent an initial abatement notice back in April. No action was taken by property owner then. We issued them a citation and a final notice to abate the parcel in June. To date, we've had no communication with the property owner. The property is still in violation of the ordinance, which is a parcel less than 1 acre in size should be cleared 100% to below 4 inches in height. I drove by today, it's still in violation. And since we don't have a budget for abatement purposes, we're looking for funding, a budget amendment to amount not to exceed $1,000 to abate the parcel and bring it into compliance. We do feel that it's a threat to public safety and that it should be abated as soon as possible. Happy to answer any questions that you have.
So just clarification, based on the picture, they didn't actually get the letter because the address is incorrect, that came back to us?
That's, I don't know that it's incorrect. It's the address that is listed as on their tax parcel. But they did not receive it because it did come back, or they refused it and it came back to them.
And our committee code provides just what has been done, that we use the tax assessor's address, and it also provides that,
That's where their problems are.
right, and that even if the order doesn't receive letters, it doesn't impact the rest of the procedure. So, which has been followed to a T.
But would we see, I thought they had received it, so they didn't, we can't tell if they just returned it?
Can't tell, no.
Okay.
Based on the return slip, it just says, yeah.
And the citation was posted on, where the citation was mailed as well?
Certified mail, correct.
Okay.
Other questions from staff at the moment or council? I'll go to public comment, please. Okay, open up public comment. Anybody with public comment at the moment?
Anybody online for public comment on this item? No.
So it's gonna run us $500 to $1,000 to weed it, clean it up. And
Yes.
I have a question.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Gretel.
Okay, have we looked into, is there any other issues with this piece of property? Like, have their taxes not been paid? Or are they in default on anything? I mean, possibly maybe there's a situation where this person has died. I mean, do we have any idea?
No, I did not look at that. I'm not sure that I can look at whether they're tax records or not.
Okay. I mean, just because if this is just not a form of neglect, I mean, maybe there actually is something that is significantly not happening here.
That's true. That happened to one other parcel in town that we abated a couple of years ago. That person was deceased. The property ended up going to probate. We liened the property, and then through probate, it was the abatement cost was paid.
I mean, regardless, it needs to be done.
Yeah.
It's a fire hazard, and if somebody's deceased, it goes to their estate or gets probated, we get our money back, so.
I will make that.
Well, quick, I do have a quick, a lot like what Gretel just said. What's our source for checking because the assessor's office is not that current.
But they bought this property, correct me if I'm wrong, I think August 2021. It was
Yeah,
pretty
it was
recent.
pretty recent.
But it could have sold yet again.
I looked on parcel quest and parcel quest is pretty quick.
But Parcel Quest is a year old, remember? parcel quest goes off the assessor's office.
Where did you get the parcel?
Where do you get your ownership? What source?
It's parcel quest initially, but then we backed it up through the tax assessor.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking out loud, because
Yeah.
you know how you could, parcel quest is a year old, the tax roll's getting ready to close right now.
Yeah, but he's backing it up with the assessor's office.
Right.
But the
So
assessor's office doesn't update it except for
They-
annually.
they do, they don't update the assessed value.
Right, the assessed value.
Oh,
The
but even
tax-
then, ownership
The tax
sometimes
collector
can
has
be
ownership.
30,
Tax
60,
collector-
90 days. Not
Yeah,
that, if
yeah.
if you're looking in per system, but not parcel quest.
But the tax collector
Has it?
Has it.
Okay.
It's just the assessor.
So it's as
doesn't
current as it
value.
could possibly be?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we gotta do it.
I'll make the motion to spend no more time chasing it down.
Yep.
You have $1,000 to abate it, max, and so I make a motion to abate it for $1,000.
I will second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, same sign?
Can I ask a question, Nate, just
Yeah.
real quick? I don't know how this came to you, like we were driving around, or did somebody call this in, but just for all the people at home watching.
Yeah,
Because there's a lot of lots that are overgrown and the weeds are more than 4 inches, and so how, do they just contact the city, or do they?
I have had a number of complaints on this
Okay.
parcel specifically, and then I do proactive inspections and go out and look for lots.
Okay,
And if somebody has one, feel free to give me a call.
I'm gonna write it down.
Sounds good.
How are we doing? How are we
Won't
doing
say that loud in
across-
the public
across
meeting.
the
Pretty
city?
well.
Are we like 80, 90%
I
compliant?
think we're above 90.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
You know, we'll see. I might have a couple others that I might have to come back with, but we'll see how it plays out.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nate. Item 8, administration report.
So I have several things. So Citygate is underway. They, have sent us a Dropbox to load, various reports and information that they want from the city. Everything from financial information to building permit information, general plan information, like everything they can possibly, need to review. And we've met with them to go over the timeline. They have a community survey that they want to go out, and they also have an employee survey. Our website is currently underway, so I wasn't comfortable trying to get this out of the community survey when our website is not conducive to people being able to get on it very easily. So, and I wanted to give everyone time to kind of look at the community survey information internally before we let it loose. So we're projecting that the website should be done either by the end of this month or the first part of August. And then we would coordinate its release for the community survey, website, Facebook, social media on Facebook, physical printouts, going to, Foothill Village and dropping off hard copies, kind of coordinating with whoever we can possibly coordinate with in order to get the most response. Do a public press release. So whatever we can do, that's what we're going to do. So I've asked them to serve best practices and trying to get as much response as possible. So we're working through all of that, but I would guess probably mid-August is when we would see that kind of go out. Additionally, they're going to be scheduling interviews with council, with staff here in the near future. Website is currently being worked on. Level 1 is doing the work, and they are going through everything, making sure pages we want to keep, don't keep, pages that are not linked to anything, we're confirming we want to get rid of them. So we're trying to make it a user-friendly, commonsensical web platform. So
We're not going to lose any of the archives as far as past minutes and past
no,
agendas.
so I asked
We're
them to
gonna-
keep all of those.
Okay.
The RFP for IT services, a group of us met today to review. There were 13 respondents, 6 to review. The other 7 were not responsive per the RFP. So I'm just doing a little bit more follow-up on the 2 that were most interested in for the city, and then I should have my answers back by tomorrow is what I'm hoping, and then I will bring that item to council. Delinquent letters went out, and so if you hear anything out on the street, they went out. So it's a 1.5-page letter that went out specifically to the property owners explaining what happened, where this balance came from, what we can do to help them, options that can be available to them, kind of what our regulations say, what government code says, and staff have been getting a lot of questions. The biggest question, I guess the common thread is that they're a property owner, they have a tenant, they're having trouble evicting the tenant, and then there's this, and this is where the fun part comes in. SB 998 gives a lot of leeway to the tenant. And so, unfortunately, that it's not going to be probably any loss to us, but there's going to be a limitation on property owners in terms of what they can give up from the tenant, would be my guess. So we'll just have to see how that plays out, but ultimately, again, it's the property owner's responsibility. I think what will be helpful going forward is when we get our website up and running, having more information on why it's a good idea to have your utilities be part of your lease document and collected as part of that, because then you avoid this issue. Ultimately, it's going to be the property owner's decision, but we don't have a lot of support for property owners on that. So
How many? There was about 80, you said, or?
I was over 100.
Over 100. And you guys had to do the research to make sure that you knew that these weren't the owner of, or they were the owner of record, but they didn't reside there.
Yep.
Okay.
CSG, our contracted building official plan reviewer consultant started. Everything seems to be going well. They get a plan review, it automatically goes to their system, we get notified that they've gotten it, it's kind of a nice deal. And then in addition, they're going to do a demo for staff it's like a building permit code compliance software called Greenview, but it allows the public access to it to see where the building permit's at, what the status is, what's waiting for it. The public can add additional information on there, upload their plans. They can, all staff would have access to make whatever comments that they wanted to make on a plan. So it's kind of a seamless thing, which we really don't have right now. And my other concern is the software that we have right now, it's almost like a proprietary software. So, you can say by the box, we basically don't have a software anymore. So we are going to do a demo on that. We're going to, I need to schedule the kickoff meeting for the code portion, but that will be soon. Jubilee has started, so we had a kickoff meeting. They came on site. We discussed kind of roles and responsibilities and expectations. And so our main city engineer, his name is Aaron Bruce-Torrey. He comes from a background in Antwerp County. He's very organized and very responsive. So we have a standing meeting, he and I think it's every other week. This is a short one, just to make sure where we're at. Any issues that I have. Same thing with Dennis Hadwin, if I have any issues, so give him a call and he'll work through it. So I'm happy with how we started off, so I think we're gonna do good on that. We're doing a lot of grants reviews. When the governor's budget came out, there's a lot of grants in there. Some that we might be able to apply for and some that we don't have anything to apply for. So between Dewberry, Amy with planning, and myself, we're all looking at potential marriages between projects or needs that we've identified and those grant programs. In addition, there's also a small systems drought relief grant, which we're a small system, so that's perfect. And it's a pretty simple grant application, so I'm working with Jubilee on that one as well. So we should be able to have that in pretty soon. Then there is the Eastern Sierra Surf group, which is another grant, the surf program. So what the state's trying to do is regionalize the allocation of grant funds instead of like the city of Angels or the city of Sonora or Calaveras County or Tuolumne County. They want to regionalize it and then make it very competitive by region, like across regions. And then the region would agree on what the projects are that they would want to move forward. And then, so the region benefits, not an individual agency or city or county. So I don't really love it, but that's what they are bringing forward. So that's what we're going to have to work with, and the confines are. So we did send them the letter having me be the designated point person for the City of Angels. I am sitting through their conference calls, and they also asked for additional participation. So I've done some outreach of other agencies that might be interested in participating in that. Utica Park update, just because we kind of keep getting rumblings of, the playground looks horrible, the park looks horrible. So we are hoping to hear something September 1st. Is it September 1st now? Okay, September 1st. So if we don't get that, we have RFPs in the queue that are ready to go. And so that will deal with the playground equipment. So they're all geared up if we don't get that. But if we do get it, we can maximize those funds as part of that overall project. So it's not like we've forgotten and we're not doing anything. We just are trying to maximize the benefits that we can get. And the Murphy's grade is done. It's done. Crosswalk works.
That's good. Light works.
Light works. And we are finished.
Wow.
Okay.
Caltrans bill?
Huh?
Caltrans billing?
Not all of it. So that part's not done, but the physical construction is done. So we, time for the next school.
I know, I was gonna say, before the next school year, that's good.
Yeah, so we'll be planning a ribbon cutting ceremony. That was so painful. We have to celebrate. And I think that's it.
Any questions from you guys? Next, move on to council reports. Start with you.
Oh, boy, what have we done? The only thing I have to report is LAFCO. Last night, at LAFCO, it was reported that the governor approved AB 938, which was a lot of cleanup codes, and that affects LAFCO in some certain ways. This MSR for the CSDs that's been ongoing was continued once again because there's still some missing information that needs updating on each of the CSDs. So it wasn't ready to go yet for formalized. We talked a lot about the LAFCO conference that is coming up in October, and Gary Tofinelli was nominated as to be a individual on the ballot for the LAFCO Board of Directors.
For Cal.
CalLAFCO, yes, not it's CalLAFCO. That's it.
I've been on vacation
I'm
for
sorry.
3 weeks. But I did want to bring up that before I left, I did attend the Museum Foundation meeting, and one of the things that they requested with the new website is that they get just a landing web page, so that from there, they can then click into their own managed website.
Yep.
And so they just also got an application in just under the deadline for a grant. I don't have all the information yet, but I'm going to be going to the next meeting, so I'll bring that back. But it's exciting that they actually have a grant writing committee and they got one off, so that's really
Okay,
awesome.
is it for the injury?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what it's for, yeah.
That was the one I did a letter of support for that.
Yes, so they gathered all the letters of support. They did a great job, so I was really excited about that. And I attended farmer's market on Friday, and it was very well attended, lots of people there, so.
I attended LAFCO with Jen last night, and she covered the report, so nothing else to add to that.
I haven't had anything in the last 2 weeks. I have CPPA tomorrow, UWPA next Tuesday. That's all I got.
Oh, one other thing, just so you're aware, we have had some thefts in the city related to, like, we had a catalytic converter stolen off one of our trucks.
Awful, not hard.
Yeah. And it was the same one that got stolen a few years ago.
It happened.
So, yeah, so Scott and I had talked, and so Chief and I had talked about just kind of increasing patrolling in particular areas where it needs to be a little bit more public.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're
On it.
on it as best as we can.
Thank you both. Correspondence, was there anybody with any questions on the correspondence? Hearing none, seeing none, I'll move on to item number 11, which is calendar.
So we've changed the format. I haven't emailed it out. I will be sending it tomorrow. It's gonna give you the option to include comments if you know that you can't attend, and all that kind of stuff. So you'll see it. I'll send it out tomorrow. And if you have any questions, just reach out.
Item number 12, adjournment, have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Who's second?
I'll take it. All in favor, say aye.
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 Is that Russian?